Hey guys, iDog811 here, and we're back for another video. I've been posting a lot more than I have lately for those of you who are subscribed, which by the way, if you want, please subscribe as I'm on the road to 100 subscribers. We're 30 away. I can't believe we're at 70 subscribers. So thank you all who are subscribed and watch this. But recently, I've came across the YouTuber Austin the Brimstone, which some of you guys may know who that is. He is a huge Shrek, Zootopia, and Sonic fan. And he recently did a video about, like, what would be his ultimate Shrek toy line. In this video, I'm going to be discussing what I feel would be the ultimate Despicable Me toy line. So let's get into it. So for those of you who don't know, when I was about 5 years old, around the time when the Minions movie came out, that was my Minions year. Like, for that solid half of a year, all year rather, that was my Minions year. Like, I was obsessed, and I mean obsessed with the Minions. Like, here's one thing I got for my 5th birthday that I'll bring in later. I mean, you can just tell, like, here's my Gru plush. Like, I have a thing. By the way, this is the Universal Studios Gru plush. But let's start off with the company I think that would really succeed at a Despicable Me toy line would be Mattel. Mattel makes amazing products. Like, they make the Toy Story figures, which, here's Woody. I do hope if Mattel ever does get the Despicable Me license to do it, they would upgrade on the paint. Like, the paint on these Toy Story figures are very basic. Like, I mean, like, that head sculpt is awesome, but, I mean, like, he doesn't have any paint on the shirt. It's just crevices. No paint on the spurs, the holster, the buttons on the sleeves. Not even the bandana. Which really stinks because, like, a more highly painted version of this sculpt would be fantastic. But if you were to get, like, a Gru, say about the size of the Woody, he's about 8 to 9 inches tall, that would be an awesome Gru action figure. Say scale this with, like, a Minion about this size, that would be an awesome scaling thing. Now here, if you don't know much about this Minion, this is a Minion from Thinkway, who's a wind-up toy. You can see he's pretty damaged because I've had him since I was 5. But you wind him up. For some reason, when I was a kid, I never really got them to work all that well, but found out you have to, like, wind them up a lot. That's just what he does. He's never really worked all that great, but like Minions of this scale, the Minions I would most want to see in this line would be Bob, Kevin, Stuart, Mel, and Carl. And maybe Jerry. Like, pretty much all your basic Minions. But you also would need a Dave in there, too, because Dave has become a Minion icon. Like, I have the Mega Dave action figure. But another thing I've always hoped to get with Despicable Me toys is other human characters other than Gru and Agnes. Speaking of which, if Agnes were to ever make it in this, here's one thing that I think would look great. So here we have this. This is from sorry, that's Stuart in the background. Here we have Agnes. This is from McDonald's from Despicable Me 3. You just move her and she just rocks back and forth on the unicorn. But the reason I bring this in is because of her sculpt. Like, look at that head sculpt. That head sculpt's awesome. Like, that looks just like Agnes. And maybe even a unicorn with this exact sculpt. Maybe add a little bit of length to the horn and a little bit of paint to the face, and that would be pretty good. And the hooves. But that Agnes head sculpt is so good. You could throw this on an action figure and have it be an amazing Agnes figure. But a real thing that we just never get in something under or something above 2 inches tall are Lucy, Margot, and Edith. Now, Lucy has had some of those action figures from around Despicable Me 2. She did, which is pretty rare to find at this point. Don't have her, sadly. But she had one, And Gru had the one where he's holding the freeze ray. I have that one somewhere, but I just don't have it with me right now. And then they made a Princess Agnes. A Princess Agnes figure would be pretty good. But I feel that just a generic Agnes with this head sculpt and like basic articulation, maybe like rotating arms, would be just a perfect Agnes figure. But also, I found this very interesting. Gru and Agnes are the only two human characters in the Despicable Me movies who get toys. Like, for example, like in the Despicable Me 2 Funko Pop line, I have this Gru in the box. But again, if you look at the back of the box, it's just him and Agnes, then just minions. I never understood that. Like, why are Gru and Agnes the only two human characters in the Despicable Me movies who get, like, a lot of merchandise? Which, I mean, like an Edith and Margot figure, complete. I mean, like, you can't just have an Agnes figure all by herself. And by the way, we never even get them in McDonald's toys. Again, they did have a... They were in some Despicable Me 3 Happy Meal toys, like, in, like, some, like, type of game outside of the U.S. And then they had a Gru on his hydrocycle, which that figure isn't really good. Like, his nose is literally a stub and whatnot, and he's, like, hunched over on his hydrocycle. But they made a Lucy pullback of that. And she was honestly pretty good. She was a lot better than the Gru. The Gru, like, he just shot out of his little capsule. But another thing I would like to see out of these characters is maybe even Funko Pops. Funko Pops these days have a lot of mixed opinions. Like, I have a ton of different... Well, I don't have a ton of different Funko Pops, but I just have a ton of random things. Like, I have Minions. If you guys don't know, I'm a huge Toy Story fan, so here's the Woody. I modified him to have a mouth. He looks way better with a mouth right now. I also did that to my Buzz. But I just don't feel the girls would look good. I mean, Agnes just doesn't look good as a Funko Pop. Like, that box set again, like, even though you can't really see that well, like, that Agnes is just not right. That Agnes, like, her proportions are awful. Like, and look, her hair is so uneven and stuff. Like, this is probably the best Agnes toy on the market. It's so good. Like, it captures Agnes's personality and stuff so well. She even has a little bit of a swivel in the head. Like I said, she rocks on riding her unicorn. Except this unicorn is way too big on her. Like, look, she can literally ride this thing like a horse and she's going like, yay! But, yeah. But that head sculpt is really spot on. And also, the other thing that would be a thing here is different scales. Because different scales are something kind of essential when making a toy line. Which, I mean, is good because they care about all different types of kids. Some who can't afford the definitive stuff. They have the cheaper option and still can get the characters they love. But another thing, if Mattel ever gets the Despicable Me license, well, I mean, I think they already have it because they did the Minions Rise of Gru action figures. Which I did say in my last video that those were they had way too much variety in that line. But another thing they can't do is, up until around last year, anyone remember that RV Friends Toy Story set that had a Woody, Buzz, Jessie, Slinky, Rex, and Forky? Up until about last year, until they re-released that item, you would still find Toy Story 4 themed stuff in like 2024 at your local Target. That set did not sell, at least where I live. It was a huge miss, but I'm pretty sure it was like that all around. Like, no parent bought that. I don't know why they re-released it, because that did not sell well. It was like the only Toy Story 4 related item that didn't ever really sell. Like, that wasn't re-released. So I doubt Mattel would do that with an action figure line, say, about like this size. And also, I think what would be fun is if they included characters from all 4 Despicable Me movies. Maybe the Minions movies would come later on, but like if you had included, like, say, like Vector, El Macho, Brat, and Maxime, that would be awesome. Like Maxime coming with Gru Jr., El Macho coming with a evil minion, Brat coming with Clyde, Vector coming with one of his cookie bots. Now, the only other toys I can think of, other than McDonald's, that we've gotten of, like, the villains, were the Noble collection. Anyone know that? They're like these, like, 6-inch, like, rubber toys that were released, I think, also, like, around a year or 2 ago. I mean, they look nice, but they're incorrectly what they say they are. Like, those figures I've heard are not good. At least the Shrek one I've heard isn't good. Because I've heard, like, he can bend, but he doesn't, like, have any, like, wire in him. Well, he does, it's just not sturdy. But that's about it. So those are my thoughts on what would make an official Despicable Me toy line. Or, like, the old toy. So let's recap. Grew about this size, with the girls with Margot being here, Edith here, Agnes maybe even like here. An Agnes figure with this exact head sculpt, because that's so spot on and looks exactly like Agnes. Minions that are about this size, like Starry Stewart just doesn't stop. But like, I feel Minions, like a Gru this size and Minions this size would be an awesome scale. So that's about all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share if you so desire. Like I said, I am on the road to 100 subscribers. So yeah, I'm hoping to achieve the 100 subscribers by the end of this year of 2025 as I'm making this. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a nice day.